Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Is This Real True Crime? I am your host, JC3, and as you can see with us on, in his own home, we have the Pope himself.
I'm the Pope.
And we have Mr. West. Mr. West is in the building for this episode tonight.
What's up, everybody? Konnichiwa, bitches, or it's actually konbanwa because we're in good evening. Or
Yes.
Ohio because it's actually morning out in Japan.
Fuck Ohio.
Konnichiwa because it's afternoon out in Japan. Anyways, we're here.
Well,
yes.
for this
Yes.
episode,
I had three chocolate bars. 1,000 milligrams each. So I am about to be flying colors in maybe the next 30 minutes.
he fell asleep on the, he fell asleep on our couch the other night. Bro.
I was blasted.
You're not gonna be doing that the whole time, are you? Oh fuck.
Maybe.
I hope not.
I hope
All right.
so.
For our episode on this exclusive Patreon episode, it is we're talking about a New Jersey murderer, guys.
Oh wow.
A murderer.
A murderer.
Why are you looking at already?
Yeah, because he wasn't from New Jersey. He was from kind of everywhere. He bounced around a lot.
But the murders
And
happened
then,
in New Jersey.
Yes, they happened in New Jersey. And he was expedited
Who are we talking
to
about?
Jersey.
John List.
Go on, you motherfucker.
John
I'm trying to set it up so that we start going to segue and shit.
Oh, okay.
Go on, your mama.
I'm just saying, look,
Yeah.
technically he's classified as a New Jersey murderer because the murders happened in New Jersey.
True.
Thank you. That's all.
But he was kind of like from everywhere. He bounced around a lot. He was a military kid, I think.
So John Emil
List.
John Emil List.
All I know
is who we're
what
talking
intrigued
about, right?
what intrigued me about this case is just what he does. You know, like it is like
this guy he from what I'm seeing. Okay, so I guess just to start it off,
yeah, West. I mean, you have it open, West.
I have
I'll let you handle it, West. Off the Weird New Jersey website.
off of Weird New Jersey itself. So we have the title goes November 9th, the List family murders Westfield. Father knows best. The strange and horrific saga of John Emil List. All right. So
Wait, Tony, did we lose you there?
he muted himself.
Oh,
I muted my mic because the cat's making noise.
Oh, okay. Just making
So this goes. You'd think it'd be easy to identify a human being who had gone completely off the deep end. You'd think the type of person who would kill his whole family would be such an identifiable loony that the police would catch him in no time. You'd never think that he'd be able to disappear into thin air and subsequently,
Are you having trouble there?
a little bit, live a completely unassuming.
Chocolate bars hitting already?
Not yet. An unassuming, quiet suburban. You always know when it hits. With no signs of psychosis and no questions asked. However, this is exactly what happened in the case of one of New Jersey's most infamous murderers, John List. John Emil List was an affluent man who lived with his mother, wife, and 3 children in a large home known as the Breeze Knoll off of the Hillside Avenue in the tranquil upper-class bedroom community of Westfield, New Jersey.
Westfield.
That's right.
A successful accountant, John not only provided his family with material wealth, so my man's had money,
He had money.
but also attempted to grant his family spiritual wealth by being a devout Christian and the pillar of the local Lutheran church.
Also,
Let me pause right there.
All right.
I was doing some research.
Yes.
He had money at the time that he bought that mansion. And it was like a 19 room mansion in Westwood.
Well, let's look it up.
But prior to that,
Just look it up.
he had bounced his family around because he kept losing jobs because he was not a people person.
You would
So
think
by
no.
the time he
no,
landed his job in Jersey, he kind of figured this shit out, and he had a big role, it was like vice VPs or something.
It doesn't look that big.
Hush, look. Okay, so I got
He
it.
said, "Oh hush." What are you, a 4-year-old mother? Jesus. Oh hush, hushy, hushy.
Actually, well, you know what? I'm not gonna say I'm not. Let's look up the address on Realtor.
You're just gonna put this motherfucker's address out?
What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm gonna put it out? They put the fucking address out on the internet. So I'm just.
You're in for a surprise.
What's the surprise?
The house is not there anymore.
They knocked that
It
bitch
burned-
down.
It burned down a couple of years after the murders, and they suspected arson, but the police have done nothing about it. They're just like, fuck it.
Well then.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Now maybe they built something, on that land since then, but the actual house that those people were ganked in doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You have to use the word ganked.
It says.
You're right. Let me do something better. The actual house that they were murdered, mutilated,
And desecrated.
That's a good one.
I have someone put up family annihilator.
That's a good one too.
That just
Sounds like a.
That sounds like a Christmas gift for a father. The family
It
annihilator
sounds like-
3000.
Okay, so this says.
Sounds like a username from like a really shady forum. Like I'm Family Destroyer 1824.
So right now I am on morbidtourism.com, and it says, finding the location, the home where John List murdered his family burned down in 1972, and a new mansion now stands in its place. The property is located at 431 Hillside Ave on the northwest side of the street and an affluent neighborhood of Westfield, New Jersey. The new two-story white house was built in 1974 and is located at the end of a long driveway with a roundabout. The home is located on private property. Remember to stay on public roads and walkways at all times and do not attempt to make contact with the current residents or homeowners.
Oh, okay. So let's just
In
put it
other
like
words, they don't want to be bothered because they built a house in which freaking, 4 people were, was it 4? The mother, the wife, and 3 where 5 people were was the dog included too?
No.
he didn't kill his dog?
He didn't kill the dog? Okay.
What the
so
dog
we're
doing?
What the dog doing?
So we're 5 human beings were just viciously
Well,
murdered.
let's just put it like this.
They don't want to be bothered.
What I'm going to do here...
Got it.
I'm going to quickly go down the chronology
Chronological order?
of John List. From
Just say
birth...
timeline.
Huh?
Just say timeline.
Shut up. The timeline of John List. So
He's trying to challenge his vocabulary.
I am Anthony.
He's trying
Fuck
to-
you.
He's trying to be like his lovely older brother.
Then fucking read Hooked on Phonics.
All right, people are paying for this. Remember that. So in 1925, John Emil List was born in Bay City, Michigan, son of John Frederick and Alma List. Alma List.
Sounds like Obelisk. Sounds like Obelisk the Tormentor.
From 43 to 45, he served in the U.S. Army during World War II. From 46 to 50, he studied.
Shit.
What?
I just saw a picture of the fucking victim. Shit.
In 46 to 50, he studied accounting at University of Michigan.
Oh my God.
In 51, he was in the Army again as an officer, meets and marries Helen Morris Taylor. In the 1950s, family lives in Kalamazoo in Inkster, Michigan, while List works as an accountant. Patricia, John, and Frederick were born. Oh, all 3 of his kids. Patricia, John, Frederick, and Frederick. They named their son John Frederick, and then they named their 3rd son Frederick.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing in our family. I'm Anthony Joseph, and you're Joseph.
I'm Joseph Paul. There's a difference. It's like this is John Frederick, but this is just Frederick. This is John
They didn't
Frederick.
like him enough to give him a middle name.
Seriously,
Dude, I
it's
can't get over the fact that your middle name is Paul, bro.
Oh, let's not fucking go into this.
Dude,
Jesus Christ.
you really.
What's your middle name?
I don't have a middle name.
Bullshit.
I swear to God, I legally do not have a middle name.
I have to talk to your parents.
Okay.
It's like what?
Wes is acting like he's acting like when Teresa found out that mozzarella cheese is just fried cheese.
It is.
It
It's
is.
like your
yes.
middle name is Paul.
Right?
Yeah, like my father's middle name is Paul also.
I would assume so, duh, because you're the 3rd.
Yes. Oh, speaking about that, like I hate
Hey
to
Wes,
do
you know what our grandfather's name was?
Let me take a while.
this. I saw this joke.
Take a-
I'm gonna pull this off right now, and I don't
take
care.
A wild, yes.
I'm in the middle of the timeline. Anthony, you'll like this. So the
Go ahead.
Carolina Panthers just hired Frank Reich, right?
Does this have to do with
Yeah.
John List?
Just listen to this. We're talking about names right now.
Okay.
All right, so his actual name is Frank Reich III. So by definition, the Carolina Panthers are staying behind the Third Reich.
Oh, dude. Oh, dude. Like,
Not on Holocaust Remembrance Day,
Oh,
Joe.
dude.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, dude. The
Wait,
second,
it's Holocaust Remembrance
dude,
Day?
dude.
Yes!
Dude.
No, it's not. Stop fucking with me. I didn't know that.
I'm not fucking with you.
Wait, what?
It's Holocaust Remembrance Day.
Let me keep my comments to myself.
I did not fucking know that. All right, back to the timeline. Sorry about that, people.
My bad. Well, you know what? I can't apologize. I didn't kill you, Jews.
Oh,
It's the truth. I didn't
anywho,
kill them niggas.
61 to 65.
Joe.
Yo, so right now we're gonna have a moment of silence for all the slain, fallen victims of the Holocaust. Done.
All right. So from 61 to 65.
Do I have to take a knee?
Shut up. No,
You're not calling Kaepernick.
you're
Shut
not
up.
Kaepernick, shut up. From 61 to 65, the List family moves to Penfield, New York, a suburb of Rochester, where List works for his Xerox Corp. In 65, after losing his job at Xerox, List buys an 18-room mansion in Westfield, New Jersey.
That was nice.
And his mother, it says 18, and his mother Alma, who supplies down payments, moves into the family, with the family. 65 to 71, List becomes an unsuccessful insurance salesman, working on commission after 2 jobs fail to work out. 69-70, Helen List treated at hospital in New Jersey and New York for brain deterioration that turns out to be tertiary syphilis. It's just syphilis.
Tertiary syphilis.
There you go. That's the word.
She had become a drunk because
It says that she was near. So, in this paragraph, it says.
She was a drunk and
While
a
this,
whore?
while this
she
might
wasn't a whore.
While this might seem
Where'd
like
she get syphilis from?
Thank you.
Hold on a second. You can't sit there and say that. Okay?
Okay. You know what?
She was
You-
married
listen.
to a man before,
Exactly.
and who's to say that he didn't give her syphilis?
Exactly.
You're telling me she never
Okay, so
got
he's the whore.
Exactly.
Don't slut shame the fucking victim.
It's 1970. I could do this.
No!
I'm fucking with you. I love women.
Although she did some nasty hoe shit to get him to marry her.
Dude, it's so
you know this?
From what I'm seeing, it's like, okay, they're talking about, like, in this from the previous paragraph that I was reading. While this may have seemed like the suburban dream life, John saw it fall apart. First, family has some dark secrets hidden with the walls that outsiders never knew. Helen List, his wife, was a distant relative of his.
I didn't know that.
Right? I'm just like, what the fuck?
Well, I mean,
you know,
after
they
your
are-
second
and then-
cousin,
and
Bro,
then-
they
it's
are.
fair game.
Shut up.
And then
They are
fur-
from Michigan.
Furthermore, she was nearly blind from a bout with syphilis left over from a previous marriage. Unable to walk, she was the only woman John was ever intimate with. Their marriage was a shotgun one caused by a pregnancy fear which turned out to be a false alarm. This relationship was an unhappy one, and John felt resentful towards Helen for this.
They started dating, and
So
then
she
she
was-
said to him that she was knocked up. And he was like, I'll put a ring on your finger. And then she wasn't.
Fucking.
I mean,
answer
shortly
back in the
after-
56 and 70s. You're
Yeah, I
pregnant.
mean, shortly after they did conceive, but at that point, he wouldn't divorce her because it's against religion.
It's against God at this point. He's
Yeah.
not going to break his covenant with God.
Well, in
Sure.
1971, October 14th, 1971 to be specific, List applies for a gun permit in Westfield, saying he needs the gun for quote-unquote home protection.
He also had 2 guns. Because he served in World War II, he was able to keep his service pistol, I believe, and he had a gun that he had won. Now,
What you mean one? Like he just took it from a Nazi?
no, I think it was like they were betting, guns and shit or something like that. There was some sort of contest.
I know the 3 people that are listening. I think the Cheese Wizard is one of ours, and I tried to get his, address. I'm like, cheesiness. You paid the $5, and
Let us send you a mug.
we could send you a mug. I have not heard what his address is. I'm like, come
He
on,
doesn't want
guy.
to give it.
Bro.
And Ted, just
Just leave it
put
by
it
the
like
sewer
next
outside.
to the sewer. You'll see a hand come up.
No, it's just gonna pop up from the manhole cover, and then you're just gonna see. And then a sign is just gonna pop up saying "Thank you."
Looney Tunes. The fuck?
Yes.
So,
So back to
John List-
Helen,
right. Well,
or back to the lists.
Back to the Future.
she said to him, I'm pregnant. He married her. He wouldn't divorce her. But then they did conceive shortly afterwards.
Yeah, he
So-
said,
Because that was the answer for everything back then. Get married.
fuck, literally.
But yeah, so he won the gun. But here's so fucked up. Everyone's like, when he got back, his mother would say, like, tell stories, everyone, about your adventures in the war.
Yes. Let me
Or
just-
like, he was the mommy's boy. He was
which is
captured
why the mother
on the
then.
day the German surrenders.
Wait, hold up. Wait. He got captured the day the Germans surrendered.
He got
So
to the
the
war
day-
in like
so the-
45.
So April, what is it? April 20th or April 18th, 1945. You're telling me that the day that he got sent onto the ground, right then, the German soldiers that did not know that they had just lost were just like, "You are coming with me."
Yeah.
Wait.
And then,
Was
like,
that
later that
Victory Day or
afternoon.
Victory in Europe Day.
D-Day was.
Listen, there's different times
There's no
when,
day.
like, different groups of German soldiers realize they lost.
Well, yeah, I know
Like,
that.
you have some old, like, 98-year-old Germans back in the motherland, like, it's not over yet! So, I shouldn't have said that in the Holocaust Remembrance Day. Anyway, like, so, we recognize one day as the day that the war ended. But this guy was a part of a group that had seized him and put him under, he was a prisoner at
He was
like
a
9 a.m.
POW.
Yeah, he was a POW at 9 a.m. And then, like, 3, the Germans like, oh, we lost? Let them go.
I wonder what mass amounts of
So it
torture.
was just an
I
over.
wonder what mass amounts of torture that he had to go through
It
within
was
those, like.
just an
That's one hell of a 9 to 5. You know that?
overused.
Seriously.
That is one hell of a 9 to 5
So, like,
or 9 to 3.
when
It
he
was
came
just a
back-
bad school trip. That's what it was.
yeah, when he came back, his mother was like, tell us about your war. Like, show the people the pistol you won. And he didn't, like, have the balls to be like, I was there for one day.
It was captured.
It was okay.
It was captured. So
The German guys were nice.
when did he get back from the war? 45. I'm
Shortly
assuming?
afterwards. Yeah.
Same year. Yeah,
Yeah,
because they lost or they surrendered back in April. So I'm
Yeah,
pretty
in
sure he got-
46 he started to study at the University of Michigan, so he was serving from 43 to 45. That's what they say. He was serving from 43 to 45. So, but like I said, so
And most of that time was, like, spent in training camp.
Yeah.
About a year and a half. And
and finally it's like, Junior, you're up, and then it's like, okay, it's over.
You're not up.
Yeah. So October 14th, 71, he applies for the gun permit for home protection. Early November 1971, Patricia List, who was 16 at the time, reportedly tells her drama coach her father has threatened to kill her family. If I would have done that to every time my dad threatened to kill us, the cops would always be here.
We would not be having this conversation right now if that was the
You want to know
case.
something kind of crazy?
What?
He would go to his children.
He's about to say, my dad actually did kill me. You're talking to a ghost right now.
No, my
I would be a millionaire then.
what do you call
Finally
it?
getting a ghost on camera.
Continue, Tony.
John would go to his children and say to them, like, listen,
Fat cats in the
how do
camera.
you want to be remembered after you die? And they'd be like, excuse me? And then he's like, well, the earth is a scary place, and if you don't save your soul, you need to be prepared. So should you die, how would you want to be buried? Would you like cremation? And then, like, the son was looking at him like, pass the fucking Cheerios, asshole.
Yeah,
and
dude, that's like
so
that's like vague. That's not even vague. That's just like an oddly specific question to ask in the morning.
yeah,
You
but
You
like,
can definitely say
he-
this. You can definitely say this was premeditated if that's the case.
Oh, absolutely, but
Well,
like,
okay, so
he
hold on.
used the guise of like religion.
You
and
know what
have to
pisses
be
me off?
prepared.
Okay, you know what pisses me off about this timeline here?
Let's go.
It says early November 1971. Patricia List, went to her drama coach and told her that her father's threatened to kill her. The next thing it says November 9th, 1971. John List shoots wife Helen 45, mother Alma 84, Patricia Frederick 13, and John 15. Then spends the night in the house. So
Yes.
it says early November. That the daughter was like, yeah, my father has told us that he wanted to kill us. Literally a day later, this motherfucker ends the entire List lineage.
And how he did it was cold as fuck.
Yeah, I'm looking at the photos right now. They got it pretty bad. Look at this. I think this is.
I'm not.
Look at this. That's.
It gets more fucked up when you realize how he killed them.
I
Does
just
it say how he
okay.
did it?
Dude, look at this.
Well,
one, man.
nobody's seen us but us, Wes.
Well, you know what I'm saying, just look at. Just
No,
look
I'm
this.
looking at
That's
it.
nuts.
It's
I don't want to
fucked
see
up.
it.
It's pretty. This is definitely the boy.
So we
Is
go
it
into
the boy?
detail.
This looks like the boy.
All right,
this looks
so-
like the wife.
The wife was standing at the kitchen counter, and she was talking to him, and
This is definitely the
he
mother.
literally just walked up, put the gun in the back of her head, and blew her brains out. Like, that's all he did. Like, she didn't see it coming. She didn't know. She was like, you know, how's the bills doing, honey? And he just went bang. Just done. He put her on the sleeping bag, put her in the ballroom, because this house had a ballroom.
He was rich.
He then goes upstairs,
18 bedroom.
and he ices his mother,
Mm-hmm.
right?
He leaves the body.
Brings her down to the ballroom, if I remember.
That's
Or
her.
she might have been too, like, old and, like, he didn't want
left her
to
on the
bring her
couch.
down the stairs and fuck up the carpet.
Nah, she's
So-
she's definitely.
Yeah, he just iced her.
She was 84.
Yep. Then the son comes home. He kills the son the same way. The daughter, I think, like, calls and says, like, Dad, I'm not feeling good. Can you come pick me up? Some shit like that. So he gets her home, kills her. Goes and watches his youngest son's soccer game. And, like, cheers him on. Good job. Yay. The boy comes home and he pulls out the gun and he aims at his kid. And the kid, like, does a Neo. Because he missed. But the kid wasn't fast enough because he ran and, you know, this asshole found him and popped 10 into his chest.
10 bullets?
Iced him. Yeah, for a 13-year-old. Usually it takes like 2 to put them down, like with chest shots.
Dude, 50
He-
only got
he
9.
Oh my god.
But he survived, so 10 might be the number.
Oh my god.
I don't know what's more fucked up. What you just said or what I just said.
I think it's the fact that Nikola Tesla said the secrets of the universe are in 3, 6, and 9, and 50 Cent
That's
might be
true.
the secrets of the universe, bro. Yo. But yes,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
so far it's exactly.
So he did all that.
He killed them and he's put them all in the ballroom.
So my question, was it true that he made a sandwich afterwards?
He made dinner. I don't know if it was a sandwich, but he definitely made something to eat because he cleaned up after himself. He actually washed the dish and put it in the drain rack, and that's where the police, like, found it when they found the house was empty 7 weeks later. Like, when they broke into the house
Oh,
through the
dude,
basement
look,
window,
Look at this.
it was still in those dish racks.
So I'm reading a part of what an interview that he's giving. It says John started off that faithful day by dropping off the kids at school, like as you were saying, just adding on to what you're saying. When he returned around 9 a.m., Helen was in the kitchen having breakfast of toast and coffee. When he entered the room, she said, "Good morning," and her husband shot her in the back of the head with a .22 caliber pistol. He ran up to the attic of the house where his 84 mother, Alma's living quarters was located, and he said, like Judas, I gave her a kiss. After this final kiss, he shot her in the back of the head as well. He went out, completed some chores like stopping the mail and cashing some bonds at his mother's. When he got home,
I
he
need
sat
to go to Home Depot. I need a
when
bigger
he-
garbage
When
bag.
he got home, he sat down and ate lunch. He didn't consider stopping the killing after this meal over, as the World War II veteran later said, "It's just like D-Day. There's no stopping after you start."
What the fuck?
Yo.
Dude, we're talking about the
Cold-blooded.
Terminator. This is the Terminator.
Later in the day, he picked up Patricia from school. They entered the house together, and without warning, John plugged her in the back of the head as well. Why would they word it like that? He next executed his youngest son, 13-year-old Freddie. So far, John had rushed through relatively clean execution-style killings. He had pre-planned this. Quote, I approached all of them from behind so they wouldn't realize at the last moment that I was going to do
he
this.
thought he... You know what?
He did this through.
This is not premeditated. Well,
It is
premeditated.
premeditated.
You know what? He thought he was still in Germany, bro.
No, he just
No.
no, he
That's okay, bro. Come on. This is just like those Vietnam people. Like they still think they're in the war.
this motherfucker thought he was a Call of Duty execution.
Oh. Bah.
We're
pretty
gonna,
good.
you know what? At some point, someone is gonna try to cancel us for this shit, and I'm just gonna say,
Hey, you know what?
try. And I'm just gonna say, try it,
They're paying
motherfucker.
for it, all
Try
right?
this, motherfucker. You paid for this, and you're getting
It's your
us,
fault.
And you signed the waiver.
You know what we are.
You did give them the waiver, right?
Yes. Every time you sign up, you get a waiver.
Okay.
That's
Cool.
All right. So
Now we will talk about the rise of the Fourth
shut
Reich.
up. Shut up.
Off air.
Uh,
Off air.
So
I've written a manifesto.
So the 9th, he murked everybody. The 10th, November 10th,
I should
1970.
have said that on the Holocaust Day.
Dude, we've been fucked up since like we've been friends, man.
So the November 10th, 1971 List leaves his car in a lot at Kennedy Airport and departs from New York by bus heading west. November 22nd, using the name Robert P. Clark and giving a Denver motel as his address, List applies for a Social Security card. 1972 to 75, List/Clark works as cook in the Denver area. 75 to 77, feeling more secure, List/Clark moves into Denver, joins a Lutheran church, and finds work as a tax preparer for H&R Block.
Oh my god.
In
Not only
1970,
that, he became a pillar in that community. Like, he would drive motherfuckers back and forth to church. It's like, you need a ride?
I'm still
The Lord saith carpool. Get in.
I'm still reading what he's talking about with his son.
And,
He shot him with a 22 and a 9mm.
because the kid wouldn't go down. In 19...
Dude, how much more fucked up can we get, bro? How much more fucked up can we get? It's not even unfathomable. It just blows my mind on a daily basis.
And yet we're
of
still not
how-
canceled.
Of how horrible human beings we joke around being. But oh
You
my
know,
god, dude,
This needs to go on TikTok.
dude.
That's fine. Little clips I'm fine with, not just the whole thing.
That's
So,
wow.
in 77, he meets a girl, Dolores Miller at her. He meets Dolores Miller at a church picnic and begins dating her. In 1985, he marries Miller at her mother's home in Maryland. In 1988, the couple moves to Midlothian, Virginia. What the fuck is that? And Clark List finds work as an accountant in Richmond. May 21st, 1989, Fox TV Network's America's Most Wanted shows airs and segment dramatizing the unsolved slayings. June 1st, 1989, the FBI agents acting on a tip called into America's Most Wanted arrest Clark List in Richmond. July 10th, 1989, Clark List is held on $5 million bail. And then he refused to admit his identity. April 1st, 1990, the testimony begins. And List trial. List finally admits his identity during pre-trial hearings. April 11th, 1990, jury deliberations begin. And then April 12th, 1990, jury returns verdict of guilty on 5 counts of first-degree murder.
You want to know what's awesome about how they found him, or had got him on America's Most Wanted?
Ow.
Say that again.
So there was a cop in Jersey who was taking over like the department, and one of the cold cases was John List, because at that time it had been like 16, 17 years since John List went missing. So he had seen the first season of America's Most Wanted, and he drove to this conference where the executive producer was giving a speech. And he managed to get some time with him after the speech. He's like, you gotta put this case on your show. And at first the guy was like, not really. Because like,
I don't really feel like it.
no, because like, your case is cold. Like, over 10 years cold.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a point to put this guy on my show. We're looking for guys that, you know, did something in the last 5 years or so. But he really stayed on him. And eventually the guy caved. And he went, all right, fine. Let's put him on there. Well, when that happened, they put a bust of what he would look like, what John List would look like from, like, now. Because the last picture they had was 20 years earlier.
Yeah.
So they, like, couldn't digitally age him up because it was, like, 1988. So what they did was they made a bust. And one of his employees or co-workers or neighbors, some shit like that.
That motherfucker looks familiar.
Sorry.
And gave that tip.
Sorry again.
Nice.
She basically saw that and went, oh, that's him. Yeah. So she called the tip line. And she has... Sorry, it was a former co-worker, if I remember right. Because she had said something to John List's new wife. And she's like, he looks familiar. He looks like... there was a guy who committed a murder in Jersey. And his wife at the time was like, nah, you're full of shit. But now it was like, for real. And that's how they caught his ass.
No, that's usually what happens all the fucking time. Like, it is... I don't know.
But if it wasn't for that cop from Jersey being like, no, he's got to be on your show and, like, going the extra mile to talk to the executive producer, we wouldn't have caught this cocksucker.
It is a fascinating case. Just how...
Sorry,
got
go ahead.
it's just.
I mean, I guess.
Look,
I guess it's fascinating because it's just
how he got away with it though.
Because it's just, but well, I mean, it's back in the 70s too, where genetic forensics were just starting to come up.
But it's not even that though. Like, was
I
he
mean,
ever...
it probably's been around, but like, you know, I don't think it's been, at least from my understanding of forensics, it was never really used.
No, they weren't fingerprinting back in the 70s. Like, they weren't using.
Yes, they were.
I'm pretty sure they were.
Yes, they were. That's how they confirmed his identity after he was arrested.
Yeah, because
like
it
that
says.
Well, that was 1980.
Well,
right, but where they get the fingerprints from, like the fucking.
The military had his
exactly.
fingerprints. So it
exactly.
says.
So they were doing fingerprints.
So it says,
what I'm saying is, I don't think they were.
He
dusting
confessed
crime
his
scenes
true identity on February 16th, 1990, after his fingerprint matched with List's military records, as well as evidence found at the crime scene of the murders.
He also had a surgical scar behind his ear that helped identify.
My whole thing with this is, and it's driving me crazy. I'm sitting here thinking about it. Why didn't they pull this shit together?
What do you mean?
Okay, so you know that this family died.
Yes.
And you know that there has to be a father to that family, and that motherfucker went disappearing.
That's the thing, exactly, bro.
But
there's no
listen to this.
internet back then. This
No,
nigga
but-
wasn't on social media saying,
I'm
Jay just killed the fam.
I'm not saying that.
I'm dodging FBI now.
This is what I'm saying. Listen.
Retweet.
What I'm saying is,
Hashtag.
if they
Hashtag get me if you can. I'm sorry. Yes, continue your
if
thought.
they sat there and they had evidence, like they're saying, from the crime scene, and they knew who the father was of this family, why couldn't they match that to his military?
They did.
Not at the they did that when they arrested him. They didn't do
They
it back
did.
in the 1960s.
Hold on a second.
But listen, but remember, but you're forgetting
he wasn't a
something
new
very
person right after he killed his family.
Yeah, no, he changed
Like,
his identity.
okay.
He changed his identity. He was
So
going.
so what you're telling me is they automatically knew at the beginning that John List, the father, did this. That was a foregone
No,
conclusion.
it's not that. It's not that
No.
he did this. It's just like that's from.
That's the person of suspicion.
That's a prime suspect or a person of interest.
And they just couldn't find him.
They just couldn't find them because
Yes.
because of the times too. Like, homie was, who knows where on the United States map he could have disappeared to.
No, I get that.
I got something else for you.
All right.
Now, we're a conspiracy podcast, and this is kind of bleeding into that. Like right now, we're in true crime mode, but we do Is This Real, which is conspiracy. There's a conspiracy theory that says that John List is D.B. Cooper.
We did an episode about D.B. Cooper.
We did.
Okay.
Around the same time John List bought a plane ticket, it was the same route. Around the same time, the D.B. Cooper thing happened. So,
If he
what do
was
you mean
in
how? It was the 70s.
But if he was in Jersey, right?
Right, but he took off after that.
Yeah, but the D.B. Cooper thing happened around Washington.
Yeah, he took off right after he murdered his family.
Yeah, it did happen the same year too. 1971.
Yes, it did.
1971, he murdered his family. When did the DB thing? DB Cooper.
DB Cooper.
What month? Because if it was in November, then because you're sitting here, I mean, when did the hijacking take place?
He disappeared November 24th, 71.
Holy shit!
Yes, and he killed his family at the early part of November. So,
And wait, hold on.
there.
What was that? What was that list that I had? Do I still have it up? I did. So if I go back, well, November 22nd is when he was he applied for a Social Security card in Denver.
Right, so he was already in Denver. And what was the plane on DB Cooper? Was it Denver to Washington 2 days later?
During the flight from Portland to Seattle, Washington, the hijacker. It was
Okay.
Portland,
It was
Oregon
all
to
the way.
Seattle.
It was all the
so.
way in Seattle.
Okay, but you're talking 2 days later. He could have gotten up to Portland in 2 days. My point is the
Driving?
timeline fits.
Well, I mean, he could have taken a plane.
You're right.
It's
could've
possible.
It's possible. He could have. It's possible. If we're talking conspiracies at this point, then John List could have bought a plane ticket
Does DB Cooper? Does the guy
to
that
Denver, changed his identity?
bring up the photo of John List again? Because if we could somehow, I don't know,
It's tough, man. It's tough.
it's a stretch,
Oh, but
they do
Oh,
look
but it's
very
not- but it's-
similar.
But it's not that far off, dude.
Not at all.
It's
Holy
not that far
shit!
off.
hmm
It's not that far off, dude. That's crazy. That's actually.
It's the fucking forehead for me.
It's
But-
the ears.
but the-
It's
the
the
thi-
ears for me.
The thing with that is, for all the DB Cooper stuff, it is.
No,
it is
not
a
the- it is the forehead.
Well, no, what I'm saying, if it's the forehead, yes, but it's a sketch, so it's not an exact representation of
course
that
not.
person. So that's very interesting to me.
That is a very interesting one. Like the lips are practically.
Oh, I'm gonna put the pictures up in
The
the thing.
lips. The lips.
So
I know.
when you're seeing from Anthony, yeah, put that up real quick.
The lips are.
When you see it from Anthony from the right,
Oh, that's the wrong guy.
yeah, I'm about to say that looks like an African American man. There you go. So from the right, that's John List, and over to your left is the descriptions of DB Cooper. It's a tight fit, giggity, but it's not.
Dude, it's the lips. Man.
It's the lips, it's the chin, it's the forehead.
The lips. The chin's very similar.
Here's the thing, though.
The jawline's different.
I hate to struck you off right to the edge of coming and then stop. But they asked him, the FBI.
Oh, by the way, the chocolates hit. That's when they hit with this whole DB Cooper shit. This just hit like right there, like doof, like holy shit. And I realized I'm like, yo, I'm high as hell
I was
right
about to
now.
say, like, when he says he's edging us, that's when they hit, bro. Calm down.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the point of edging.
That's it.
The FBI bluntly asked him, after he was already incarcerated and found guilty for doing this, for killing his family. They asked him, "Are you DB Cooper?" He said no. And the
Like, he's
question
gonna fucking-
is,
like, he's gonna. Why would he?
he already
say yes?
admitted to killing his whole family. What does he have to gain from also being DB Cooper?
Because
Like nothing.
think about it this way.
Well,
Whatever
yeah,
that
nah,
money-
well, it's not even.
Hold on, but whatever that money, I would think of it as whatever that money that he stole, if he gave it to someone he loved, like his wife and stuff like that, or someone that he just
What
knows.
wife? He killed that bitch.
No, he married a second time.
Yeah, but that was years later. And mind you, he was caught 18 years after he killed his family. So if he robbed a plane, he would have been living comfortably off that stolen money for, who knows, a couple of years maybe?
Maybe just.
So
I would.
no one
I
would have been an accessory
let's
after
just
the
put it like
fact.
that. Not the accessory. I'm not saying like that. Just, my whole thing is that at that point, I'm sitting there like,
You been associated?
keep
Yeah.
keep that a mystery, bro. That's one of America's biggest mysteries. Why admit to it?
Yeah, but
I
that's
would
exactly
fuck
my
people
point.
up.
He's got nothing to gain from it.
Yeah, no, he did it.
And also, if he already, copped to murder,
There's
and he was DB Cooper,
Okay. Yeah.
that's a far less like crime to admit to being. So just fuck it. I'd rather be known as DB Cooper than the guy who iced his family.
Yeah, no.
I don't know, man. He put 10 shots in his kid.
There's nothing to back that up right now. At least like with his supposed wiki, it says that he enlisted in the U.S. Army and served in the infantry as a laboratory technician. So he ain't got. So not even that, it's not even that he has anything to do with the war. It's just that he got no type of like. It doesn't sound like he has any type of like flight experience for him to be DB.
Well, DB Cooper didn't have any flight experience either. He just hijacked a fucking plane and jumped out of it.
Who knows? I mean, do they do like parachute training and like? I mean, obviously they do.
They should.
But did he do any parachute training?
That's I don't know.
It's not like they stick you on a mission, kick you out the back of the pay, and say, "Good luck, fucker."
I mean, I guess I want to assume yes, as far as like giving the timeline of it being 1943 when you're still in the midst of fighting the Germans, and you may have to hop out of an airplane, or the Japanese in that point too, while bullets are flying at you and you don't even know.
Well, then we unleashed the power of the sun twice.
Stop it. We did not stop it. Stop it.
No, we did.
Stop it. Stop it. You know what?
On Holocaust Remembry Day, Joey.
It's not Japanese Remembry Day.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Am I wrong?
Do they have 2 of those days?
I'm not wrong. Alright? Let the motherfuckers try again. Fuck around and find out.
Dude, Chuck Norris can't be dropped the 3rd time.
No, if Chuck Norris just dropped like a nuclear bomb, we'd all be gone.
Exactly. Chuck Norris was dropped twice as a baby, bro. Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Alright, back to John Liz. Alright, so
Chuck Norris wants to jumping jack.
You know what?
All the dinosaurs
to
were
anybody
extinct.
to anybody that is gonna listen to this wholeheartely, yes, we are like this.
all the fucking time.
I'm
dealing with high 1 and high 2.
You have now seen the absolute real true colors of Is This Real,
and this is just the 3 of us.
This is just the 3 of us. We are fucked up.
West, you need to be quiet because I'm pretty sure they're gonna play this in court.
Well, they have to pay for it first. They would have to pay the $5 first. And you know what? That may be a good thing because all the jury would have to sit there and pay the $5 to get it.
Damn right.
It's copyright material.
Yep, can't use it in court without my permission.
Nope. I'm gonna definitely get
that. Was an interesting fact about this case too. Not the fact that he's DB Cooper, but he wrote a letter to his priest. He wrote a letter to his priest after he killed his family. And he said, I did this because I was worried. My wife was sick and she had syphilis and she was a slut. So I killed her that way. Sorry. He goes, I killed her because then she would get into heaven. Because she was innocent and she didn't know that she was going to hell. And then I killed my kids because the 2 youngest ones play pranks on me, but the oldest one was getting into witchcraft in his eyes. She was
smoking
teenager
weed,
in the 70s.
bro. That's all it was.
Exactly.
It literally says that she was just dabbling with marijuana and theater. Bro, that was a 16-year-old girl in the 60s that was just smoking weed.
Okay, think about it.
Don't smoke and act, kids.
Yeah, like
and this motherfucker said, quote, he viewed it rather unchristian.
Yes.
Yeah. So she's smoking weed and so most of the kids,
John
I understand,
saw his perfect life unraveling and decided it was better to remove his family from Earth rather than to have them go through a life of poverty and sin.
Yeah.
Oh,
he is.
My God,
he is the ultimate.
I cannot believe I just read that word.
Think
for
about
word.
it, Wes. Listen to this.
But wait, it gets so much better.
Hold on.
How can it get much better?
He is the ultimate Christian American dad.
How?
That he sat there and he said, smoking is a sin, witchcraft is a sin, and
it was theater.
And theater, in his eyes, it doesn't matter if it's man or female, could probably be like, oh, that could mean that you're a homosexual or something like that, or you're a lesbian, and that's a sin also. And you could get my sons
play
into
video
theater.
games yet because they weren't invented.
And you
He
can
would've,
get,
though. He
you
would've
can get
tried.
my sons into theater, and that means they're definitely homosexual. I mean, look at Anthony.
I smoke weed.
Anthony
I
would
got
have
my
been
master's degree in theater.
Anthony would have been shot by this guy.
I would have been murdered. So,
Oh.
after he kills his family that night after he has dinner,
I'm not
he
gonna
writes a
lie.
letter to
I love
his
y'all niggas,
priest.
bro. I love y'all niggas, yo. Y'all is something I was not expecting any of this. And the fact that this
Wes.
is being recorded right now is just, I don't want to say embarrassing. This is just crazy right now because I'm just like,
Oh, this is
fuck.
gonna be the best episode on Israel True Crime Season 1.
I'm just like, fuck, bro, yo. This
Wes, you ready for this one?
You ready for this?
hit me.
He wrote a letter to his priest,
Okay.
left it at the house. You know, because eventually the priest would find the bodies, even though he never tell the priest. They used that as evidence in his court. You know, in his trial. He's saying basically, like, listen, you wrote this letter to your priest saying that that's why you killed your family. He argued that because it was a confidential letter to the priest and it was religious, they couldn't use it in court. That's not how the fucking law works.
Well, I mean, was
Dude,
it like
I know.
was
that,
it a part like a
I
confessional?
Get, no, I get where he's coming from because you know the whole religious loophole and shit. But there are certain laws that priests have to like. If someone confessed to a murder, like as much as it's like a holy thing. I mean, I'm not even. Well, not even
I don't think that's true.
It is.
No, it is true.
It is.
It is.
There are certain laws that priests have to adhere to.
Like if someone confessed to a murder, like no matter how like sacred something like that is, unfortunately, because in the eyes of the law, in the eyes of the law,
he becomes a whatchamacallit, an accessory at that point. If you know and don't tell.
Yeah.
All right, I see that. But that's look. I knew this episode. I knew this particular case would be an interesting one. And see, we're different. Is this real true crime is different. If you can't laugh, then you shouldn't watch us. I just put it like that.
I mean, we're not. I'll be honest with
We're
you.
telling the facts.
I mean, we'll be honest.
These are the facts.
Listen. There are facts, and then there are jokes, and there's a lot of sarcasm.
Oh yeah.
It could sound like a lot of apathy, but wholeheartedly, like this is really like a horrible thing to happen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course.
It is completely horrible
like,
and utterly disappointing and disrespectful.
Dude, these pictures are crazy, man.
Yeah, I'm not.
These pictures are really crazy.
I wouldn't even put the pictures on the
No,
video
you can't.
itself.
You
it's,
can't.
It's very
No,
disrespectful.
you can't.
I would not do
You
that.
You can't.
But
Don't get me wrong. Like they're out. Their pictures are out there. All this stuff like this is out there if you want to look for this yourself.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
everything we
This
talk
is-
about the pictures.
But
about,
these
there's
are
a whole
these are pretty
website
these are pretty disturbing.
dedicated
images.
to crime scene photos, bro.
No. Of course there is.
So I looked it up. There are laws in place that if a priest is told that a crime is happening and is currently happening, the law kind of insists that they come forward and say that. Like if a kid walks into a confessional and says, "My dad's touching me," like the priest is obligated under law in certain states to come forward with that information. I would think it also
Or
applies
the priest
to
is just
like.
gonna tell the cops, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean for him to call me daddy." Yo.
On Holocaust Memory Day, West.
Damn it, comedy has no
They're not
no
talking
grounds, bro.
They're not talking about.
That's the joke.
Comedy has no grounds.
There was
Yes, it is, Joe.
thing in 2014, California versus like the Catholic Church or some shit because of that. Because like a priest was told in a confessional that there's an ongoing abuse happening, and the priest was like, "I'm not violating, like, you know, the sacrament of confession." And like the kid, I think, later on went to tell someone else who got involved, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I told the priest." And everyone looked at the priest like, "Why didn't you say anything?"
Father Jimmy.
And confessional. So it was a big thing, Kelly.
Oh, I guarantee it was. Like,
I think
No, I'm sorry.
does murder trump kid touching? I think it does.
I mean, does.
What the fuck are we talking about here?
No.
What I'm saying is severity of the
there-
crime.
I mean, it's
I see crime as like hierarchy, like just some are just worse than others. But kid touching,
Are you
I
talking
don't
about?
think
Hold on,
trumps
hold on.
murder.
Are you
up
talking
there.
about like cardinal sin versus like venial sins and shit like
I'm
that?
talking about sins in general. Like,
I was
smacking
just
someone
gonna-
upside the head doesn't come to the close to the top. But like, there should be like it's child touching, murder. That's how I feel.
Do you think murder is worse than touching a kid?
Like the kid's still alive, and
Yeah.
it's horrible. They're gonna
They have to
suffer. But
live
like,
with that though. There's no suffering.
They
after
do.
murder, though.
Yeah,
They do, but
there
like-
is suffering with that. You don't.
There absolutely is.
There is a huge amount of suffering with that.
Not with
You
that
know-
person.
With the kid?
No. I'm saying there's no suffering after a murder for that particular. The two people.
no,
involved,
that's not true.
It's the people after that are left behind that are suffering, not the person.
Yeah, they're still
involved.
suffering.
Not
Suffering
the,
is suffering.
Not the person involved. The
Well, that's because they're
kid-
fucking dead. They
Well,
can't.
yeah, but
They're
the
suffering.
kid
Yeah, they're suffering.
who was involved has to live with that.
I understand that, and there's plenty of people who survive SA and go on to lead productive lives and take that very wrong, unfortunate experience and not use it to empower them, but like they survived and they can help others. It's like they're not letting their trauma define them. So I don't know. I
No,
think
to me,
taking a
they're at
life
the
is
same
worse,
level.
wouldn't it be?
I think it's at the same level, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
I think if it is, they're
Maybe.
like they're like an inch above. Whichever.
Dude, it's just that's just pun intended. It's a touchy subject.
It's like what's worse, fucking a kid or killing a kid?
It's just like it's,
What the?
Oh my God, where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going with
I would think fucking a dead kid trumps both.
dude? Stop! Stop!
I'm getting fired. I'm gonna be like Joey.
Well, just think of it. At least you'll get paid through the Patreon because they have to pay for it.
Yo, dude.
Well, just think of it this way, Wes. Me and the coroner have something common. We both like to crack open a cold one.
The shit that you are paying for, you are watching. The shit that you are paying for, you are watching at your own risk.
Did you
are
hear me?
watching at your own risk.
Did you hear me, Wes?
Please say that again.
I said me and the coroner have something in common. We both like cracking open a cold one. This has gone off the rails as far as is this real true crime. And again, if
Hey
you're
Wes,
still...
Yes.
you know the best thing about fucking a dead chick? You don't have to get them flowers. There's always some at the funeral home.
If you're still with us, thank you. We're coming to the end of this episode with this John list. So let's just put I always like to ask questions at the end of this.
I just feel like we're gonna get sued. I don't know for what though.
By Patreon
Someone
itself.
is gonna be like, "Yo, it's
Patreon is gonna sue us themselves. We
Nah.
can't have that content on us.
They essayed my ears. I feel essayed.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh my God, dude, you could just already just say sexual assault. You know the fucking shit that we said already throughout. this
I
whole
know, but I
episode.
don't want to.
Like, this isn't TikTok right
This
now.
is
I
what-
know you're using clips for
This
these
is
but
what
right
your green
now-
is going to, and I apologize to anybody.
Oh.
We don't.
Like,
Let's just put it like this: we don't sit here and we don't approve any of this.
none of this.
Nah.
This is
But do
all.
you understand how
this is
much
all-
courage I had to muster up to say the phrase "fucking a dead kid"?
Okay, so this is
I had to
all.
be strong in that moment.
Shut the fuck up, Anthony. This is all dark humor coming out at places that we feel uncomfortable with, and we get by it by.
This is for the people.
Humor.
This is for the people. These.
This is for the people.
This is for the people who find comedy as a coping mechanism
Yes.
with
And-
dealing with disturbing shit or talking about uncomfortable situations. Like
This is just a
like,
nice.
wholeheartedly. Like
This is just a very nice way of saying we don't know how to handle our feelings, so we just laugh at everything.
And if this is not
this is not meant
For
to
you?
offend anybody.
no, but if this is not for you, it's understandable too. All episodes are not going to be like this. It
Yes,
so
please
happens,
click away now in the 58th minute.
It so happens that you have the three of us here. and we're doing this episode on this particular person where you know how I brought this to these guys? I said John List, and they're like, who's that? I'm like, John List for true crime. I'm like, this guy murked his family, made a sandwich, went to the bank, and disappeared for 18 years. And they're both like, that sounds interesting. I want to be on there. I want to talk about that. I'm like, someone who murked his family and ate a sandwich? That just sounds like a normal Wednesday.
I'm not gonna. What?
But yeah, that's how this came about. And you know, we usually have Beans on here. Beans is busy doing something.
She's the serious one in this.
She takes it very seriously.
She is the serious
we take this.
one.
Look, we got a lot of facts out here tonight, and the DB Cooper thing blew my fucking mind.
Yeah, that was good.
Just like his wife.
Welcome.
That was good.
Did nobody get that? He got that. Anthony didn't hear that, did you?
No, I crashed like Kobe.
It was
Oh!
You are so lucky you are behind the computer screen right now. You know you are.
He's gonna Muay Thai the computer screen.
That is why you are saying it. That's why you are saying it. I know it. And it was just his 1 year anniversary. You fucking dick. Fuck you.
No, I turned around.
2 years.
2 years. Oh my god.
I turned
Yeah,
around.
back-to-back champ.
I turned around and I was like, the DB Cooper thing blew my mind, just like John List's wife.
Woo!
So yeah, that's how we handle this shit. And look, if you like this content, look, we're laughing right there with you. If you don't, again, there will be more serious episodes like stuff with T. But if you get the three of us in here, this is what you're gonna get. We're gonna put facts out there. We're gonna put a little bit of the Is This Real stuff in here because it is, you know, we're part of the Is This Real stuff, and you're gonna get a lot of comedy. That's just how it is.
And some subtle racism.
Very subtle racism.
It's like,
But that's
if you
comedy,
like it,
but
great. If you don't like it, we're sorry.
Yeah, like, again, you can skip over this episode. I'm not saying you have to watch it, but there will be a disclaimer at the beginning of this episode. There will be a disclaimer.
Comedic racism.
This is like,
Comedic racism.
explain to me why you needed a disclaimer without saying why you needed it.
Exactly.
It's like the first.
So, guys, John List, where does he rank as far as, like, I know you both of you have only been on another episode, but as far as, I don't know how deep into true crime events. I know, Anthony, you have Sarah, so you're deep into true crime shit.
Nah, like, most of the time I'm asleep.
Of different murderers.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of weird shit in her car because of all the podcasts.
Wes, how about you? Have
I
you
usually go to sleep.
Have you listened about different murders and stuff like that?
No.
Or at least know of?
I mean, no. I mean, I only know of like mainstream ones. To be very honest with you, true crime is something that, like, quite frankly, it doesn't tickle my interest. It bores me, to be honest. You know why? Because it already fucking happened. You know what I mean?
Well, that's true, but something like this.
Yeah, fuck history.
No, it's not fuck history. It's just like, this person killed this person, so and so. But it's just like, dude, we've been killing each other since the start of time, and quite frankly, it's not that I'm like being apathetic towards it. I'm really not. It's just like
We've also been sucking each other's cocks since the dawn of time. That's still interesting.
Then there's him.
Yeah, then there's Anthony.
Then there's Anthony.
So let's just put it like this. My question is, as far as John List, how interesting was this case to you as far as any of the cases that you've ever heard about? I'll ask Anthony.
This isn't okay. As far as
Again, if you
It's-
haven't
it's a-
heard a lot, that's
I haven't
fine
heard.
too.
Yeah, no, I haven't really heard a lot. So I guess this would be. It's definitely top 5 right now for sure.
All right.
Because of the fact that, you know, homeboy really just did this, like, he really thought about it. That's the part that's really, like, kind of baffling. It's just
meditated?
like how premeditated it is. I guess that's what the interesting part about true crime would be, is just like the psychology behind of why a killer goes through something like this.
And that scares me because
And-
most
and-
of the time
and it's just
people who think about the psychology of it wonder to do it themselves.
Maybe.
Oh, I think about killing someone every day.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
Don't.
No. It's just like, I'm being serious. It's a thought that plays in my mind. And I don't ask for these thoughts, but it's like,
it's the dark psyche.
it happens.
It's the dark part of your psyche too. It's just,
Like, there was the other day, my boss was,
no, off air.
he was hanging out the window. You know, we're up on the second floor.
Shut the fuck up.
At this point.
No, a second.
At this point, it doesn't even.
He was-
we've said so much.
His head was out the window, and I was sitting at my desk. I'm like, if I get up right now, he doesn't have enough time for me to stop me. for him to stop me, and I could push him right out. I could kill him right now. And then I went, oh fuck, I gotta email that invoice. And then I just moved on to the next thing. Like, I have that thought every day.
Intrusive thoughts.
Yeah. I'm not gonna dwelling on it. I'm not watching Mike and be like, now's my chance. Like, I'm not. It's just that, like,
I really hope
I happen to look up and I'm like, I can kill him right now.
I really hope your boss, either of your bosses at this point, don't sign into your fucking Patreon account. Just tell them, like, you don't need to be on. Don't sign in. Like, I would love it, because again, that's $10 extra in my bank account every month. But still,
It's not just your bank account.
Our bank account.
I have these dark.
It's not just you, homie.
I have these dark thoughts all the time.
Our bank.
It's great. The
right.
bank account.
So
let's stop.
Anthony, John List, where does he rank for you?
Interesting for sure. I'm happy the fucking prick died in prison.
Yeah, I guess we never really talked about that.
Yeah, he did die.
Nah, he died in prison.
I mean,
like, here's the fucked up thing.
Hold
like,
on. He would, of course, he would die in prison if you're caught and you're convicted of 5 murders. You're gonna die.
Yeah, he had 5 consecutive life sentences.
Yeah.
That means if he's reborn anywhere and they find him, he has to go back to prison.
When did he die?
Like, if they find out this motherfucker was reincarnated, it's like, get the fuck in there. You know what you did last time.
He died in 08.
Kid's like 9, like, what'd I do?
March.
Get the fuck in prison.
That's some real fucked up shit. If you said 5 lifetimes type shit, like, yo, that's crazy. You gotta go to jail 5 times. It's like
that's what the Hindus believe in.
It's like
No,
Monopoly.
it's just like as soon as the doctor slaps the baby on the ass, it goes right into prison. Like, we know that's John List. John List just died in his lifetime, and you were born. You're John List. So
are they gonna wait for him to mature first and then throw him?
Nope.
in?
5
well,
lifetimes.
He goes to juvie first.
5 lifetime. No, but
Baby juvie. Damn.
Pre-prison.
What is
Pre-prison.
Hold on. What does baby juvie look like?
It's a giant fucking pen. Only this pen has a lid on it. So the little motherfucker can't climb out. There's like, his crib has bars, and then it has like a roof of bars too. I ain't never seen a crib with a padlock. So John List is interesting. It pisses me off that he was able to have 18 years of life after he killed his family. He went on to have like a whole new life.
Yeah.
Like, he was able to hold down a job now.
2 jobs.
He had a wife. Exactly. Like, he was able to have 18 years that those people weren't able to have. And then they give him life so he gets to just live out his days in a prison. Although he did try to appeal it.
Of course, everybody.
And one of the things was the saying that the letter to the priest was confidential. There was something else he claimed as well. But he said, I think that when I die and I go to heaven, my wife that I killed will accept me and we will have good times again.
That, first of all...
What makes you think you went to heaven?
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, he's not going to heaven. If he believes in what the fuck he preaches, then he's not going to heaven.
Well,
he has
he
a
wouldn't off
one-way
himself
ticket.
because like, that's the ultimate sin.
Yeah.
Like, Lutherans believe that if you kill yourself, you go right to hell. There's no, like stop on the way there, and maybe you can talk your way out of it with God. Like, give me a mulligan. Nope, go right to the pit.
It only makes sense because if God created you, like, if God's the one that's gonna take you out, and you decide to take yourself out, you're literally just going against God right there. So,
Oh yeah, I mean, it's
That's-
still murder.
Bill Maher said it best. Suicide is your way of looking at God and saying, you can't fire me, I quit.
So, I mean, this was John List. I mean, it's a very interesting case, and I'm glad we talked about it in the way that we did. Because I don't think Teresa could have, not that she couldn't handle, Teresa would have done a fantastic job anyway. But I think with people who are high as fuck with this case, it just made it so much better.
yeah.
And it might be the downfall of the company. But hey, You know, as long as we got it out there, right? So for the rest of the season, as we come towards the end of this episode, for the rest of the season that we have, this is the list that we have, West, and let me know if you're interested in any of them, or if you know of any of them.
I'm probably hit me.
All right, so you know of the Amityville horror, right? We talked about the Amityville horror.
Yes.
The DeFeo murders, the prelude.
You mentioned those.
Yes, we're going to be talking about those. The murders,
Murders.
not the actual like haunting, which leads into haunting. The Manson murders. Charles Manson.
Charlie Manson.
Yeah,
That's a week special.
Yes, that's. And I believe Sweet Week is coming up soon. The Boy in the Box case. You ever heard about the Boy in the Box, Anthony?
No.
Wes?
It doesn't sound familiar. No.
So real quick with the Boy in the Box, apparently this boy was found in a box, and he was completely naked in the middle of the woods, and they don't know how the fuck he got there or who the fuck he is.
Gregory?
All right, so the Taman Shud case, I don't know what that is. I have to do my research. The Taratalico case, and then the Jeanette De Palma case. These are cases that are they're questionable. Like, they're like, when we talk about is this real true crime, as we talk about is this real, I like to get cases that have questions. Like, could it be this or could it be that? These cases are very questionable. Like the Manson murders, can Charlie be considered a murderer for those particular murders? He did murder people, but he didn't murder anybody in as far as he was convicted of. For the murders he was convicted of. He did not personally do that. The Boy in the Box, who the fuck was that kid? And the other three, again, I have to do more research on. The DeFeo murders is very interesting because I believe that's going to be the next episode. And the reason the DeFeo murder is very interesting, Wes, is if you don't know, Ronnie DeFeo killed his entire family with a shotgun, right?
Yes.
It was a shotgun, and no one heard anything.
Yes, I remember you've mentioned this before.
Not even outside the house. So
Yeah,
that's very interesting, and we're going to deep dive, get into that and how that happened. But thank you guys for being with me, and, thank you for being here with this late hour. It is 12:12 in the morning. For the Is This Real True Crime, for the Patreon. And Anthony, I think we'll talk more off air, but I think with the Buzzsprout stuff, we're going to have a Buzzsprout premium access thing with it also. And that just might be your own personal podcast that might be on there. I'm going to talk to you about it. But Mr. West, again, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for the chocolates kicking in at the particular time that they did. Perfect timing.
It hit. I mean, they probably hit for a while, but it was at that moment that I realized, dude, I'm high as shit.
Miss Pope Tony, thank you again. And I actually think we could do more of this the screening. So you might be doing Is This Real True Crime from home.
Whatever gets you wet.
Water gets me wet. And again, thank you guys for listening to the Patreon, and continue listening to Is This Real and the Patreon, and you'll probably see some of this on, not all of it, fuck, we'll be banned in the heartbeat, but some of it on the Is This Real TikTok page. Again, thank you guys, good night, and we will catch you guys on Is This Real and Is This Real True Crime.
Adios, motherfuckers.
Yeah, to me.